Hey guys, what is up? It's your girl, Grace Story, and I am back with a whole new podcast episode. Today we are diving into Reddit's deepest, darkest secrets. Without further ado, before we jump in, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow, whatever platform you're listening on. It takes about 0.2 seconds to support, is totally free, and means the world to me as a small creator who really enjoys making all of these videos and episodes for you. So let's go ahead and jump on in. I'm Grace Story, and you're listening to That Girl the Podcast. Grab a beverage of choice and settle in, because the new episode is starting now. Alright, so I am someone who loves a good conclusion. I hate being left basically on red. Like, I need closure. So we are going to be reading from Best of Redditor Updates to get our stories today. This first one is titled, I Found My Wife's Secret Google Account, and I Am Sick to My Stomach. I, male 36, met my wife, Bailey, female 33, 9 years ago through mutual coworkers, and we hit it off immediately. I fell absolutely head over heels with this woman. She was everything I was looking for. I had gotten out of a toxic, long-term relationship right before that with a woman Bailey had been acquainted with, but not friends with. I had her blocked on everything and had no contact with her since breaking up. We got married right after the tail end of the pandemic, bought our first house together, and started trying to conceive. That was difficult because Bailey has PCOS, but last year she finally gave birth to our first daughter. I'm having a blast being a dad. It's kind of a dream come true. I finally got my happy life with my perfect wife. My perfect wife until last Monday. That makes me sad. Like, can people just be happy? Dang it. Okay, moving on. My laptop's battery was done for, so I opened up Bailey's work tablet with an attached keyboard. You can set it up like a monitor to check on some tax stuff. She wasn't home. It was just me and the baby, but we never asked permission to use each other's devices. We've always been open like that. There's nothing for us to hide. That's what I thought. We're the same way. Like, if I needed to do something real quick, I mean, I'll probably still ask Josh just out of like courtesy, but I know that, like, if I was in a tough spot, I could grab it, or, like, he would grab my iPad to just turn on music or something, so definitely understand. When I opened up the internet, I noticed she had the incognito tab open. Never in a million years did I expect to discover what I did. Incognito is never good. What happens on there does not stay on there, despite what they tell you. My wife has a secret Google account with a photo album saved called XX, so I clicked on it. Did I discover an affair? Some spicy pictures? No. In this Google album were over 300 photos, 348 actually, of my ex, the woman I was with right before I met Bailey, the woman who tormented me and made me feel worthless. The album said it was started back right around the time Bailey and I started dating and was updated as recently as 2 weeks ago. The photos range from candid shots with family to pictures at her work functions. There were even pictures from her yearbook. I don't know how Bailey could have found her high school yearbook photos. Photos from vacations, ID photos from work, picture of her in crowds, screenshots of videos, the screen recordings of videos. Just her. The other people in the photos will be scribbled out, or the photo would be cropped and zoomed in just on my ex. Wait, so is she like how how is she getting the pictures of her like candid or in crowds? Is she taking who is taking those? I need an answer. There was other disturbing things I found too. There was another album with just zoomed up pictures of my ex's hair. Come to think of it, Bailey had recently started wearing her hair different and my ex had a very identifiable hair type. There's another album with screenshots of comments on social media. Of course I can't find them because I have her blocked. Like Facebook group she's in and public posts, and my ex is very low key on social media. I can't imagine the lengths Bailey went to find them. My ex literally lives in another country now. I'm not saying that Bailey's right for this because obviously she's not. This is horrific, but I also want to say that men don't know social media the same way women know social media. So for him to say like, I don't know how she did this, it might have been very simple for her. Again, still weird and crazy that she did it, but we can do a lot of FBI type stuff with a couple clicks that men just don't know how to do often. So I that is crazy, but just saying. There were also different links to the exact outfits she was wearing, like very specific blouses and trousers you'd have to really go looking for to find a specific water bottle I remembered her purchasing and identical hiking boots and sandals. So basically, my partner of almost a decade has been single white femaling my ex-girlfriend, has secretly stalked her to the point of buying her exact clothes and changing her hair, and now I'm starting to realize Bailey's new interests over the years were just my ex's. Bailey has turned herself into my ex. This is so weird. Stop. Everything feels like a lie. Our love feels like a lie. The thing we share feels like a lie. I threw up and had a panic attack. I looked at our daughter and felt betrayed. I haven't confronted her yet. I don't know if I want to. I want to run away with our daughter. I want to print out all of her pictures, leave them on the table, and disappear. I don't know what to do. I just want to throw up. This makes me nauseous. I don't know what the explanation is for this because I can't think of one that would justify any of this. But good lord. Okay, let's get into the relevant comments. First one. Holy cow, that definitely is alarming. The best thing to do is address it now to see what'll change if she no longer has someone to replicate. The toxic side of me would slowly start mentioning things like, you really do remind me of someone, and nonchalantly bite into an apple and walk away. The original poster said, I feel like what's worse is that she subtly made these changes over time under my nose. So my ex has a specific career and Bailey didn't express interest in switching careers to the exact same thing until after I had mentioned what my ex did. Didn't notice at the time, but I remember telling her ex went to school for that. The hair was more recent, the outfits and objects slowly over time. The interest, I'm not sure how much she's stolen personality-wise from my ex and what she actually likes. It's all incredibly exhausting and confusing. Another relevant comment. I'm so sorry. This sounds like something out of creepypasta. OP, I'm actually surprised with the amount of support I've gotten on here in the last hour. Haha, believe it or not, there are no other red flags in our marriage. Now I don't know what else I've missed. While I talked about my ex, most of the things I told my wife about her were negative and painted her in not a very good light. My wife knows these things and knows they were traumatic. Of course, I've mentioned things like what she does for a living and things she used to do. I think everything else she found she got through intense cyber stalking through my ex's friends and family. The yearbook photos, I have no idea. And now, on to the update. I'm pretty sure I accidentally got my original post removed just now because I tried to update it with a link to my update. Oops. Anyway, I'm the guy who found the Google Drive full of pictures of my ex. So, I was not expecting my original post to go viral on YouTube and TikTok and have so many responses. Yikes. I'm overwhelmed by the support. I'm humbled by the number of people who have been through this experience on both sides. I have an update, but it's probably not as exciting and juicy as you want. It's not bad though. First, let me clear things up. If people think this post is fake because it doesn't make sense, or are trying to conceive timeline is short, or the way I worded things makes it look like a teenager or woman wrote it, continue to think that because it means I've successfully been vague enough and worded things to not accidentally dox myself. Believe this is a creative writing exercise so I don't embarrass myself. For real. No, I didn't actually throw up. I was in the middle of a panic attack. Pause, just so you guys know, this is like a reading exercise for me. I woke up from a nap like 20 minutes ago, threw on some makeup, and here we are. So I'm sorry if my reading isn't the best. I don't spend that much time reading out loud, believe it or not, like only when I do these podcast episodes. So I feel like I'm getting better, but I do stutter because I talk so fast because I'm at ADHD. So I'm very like conscious of that. So we're trying to get better at it, but just so you know, if you hear me stutter or pronounce a word weird, I'm working on it. Private browsing, tabs were open to the websites with clothing and objects. Another tab was signed into Google Photos. When I exited the Google Photo tab to look at the websites with clothing and came back, it was already signed out and I couldn't get back in. Dang. Does that mean, well, how would she do that on that device? Does she have like an alert set up or something? If that's even I don't know. A lot of the clothing I recognized wasn't because I remembered my ex wearing them. There were more recent pictures of her in the file wearing them. And I remember the day Bailey bought the water bottle that also happened to be in the folder. The hair. Bailey and my ex were the exact same race, and my ex wore braids in a particular way. Not so particular that it's exclusive to my ex, because Bailey has also worn different braids, but seeing pictures of her made me put two and two together. Is there any way Bailey could have gotten with me in an attempt to get to my ex? Was Bailey possibly obsessed with my ex before she met me? Probably not, because Bailey grew up here and my ex originally moved here for university. And while you can drive across the border, it's not that easy, and I don't think Bailey was going back and forth to stalk her in person. Also, the reasons why my ex and I broke up have nothing to do with Bailey, and she could not have had any involvement. On to the actual update. The next day, when I had calmed down, I called several social workers and therapists. I was planning to confront her there. Unfortunately, the only places that take our insurance did not have an opening for another couple of weeks. So, despite what a lot of you think, I've known my wife for nearly a decade, and even while I was confused and upset and doubting things, I didn't think she'd be a danger to me. We took baby to grandma's and I asked her to go for a walk with me. I did not beat around the bush and straight up told her I found the folder. Her face got very red and she was frozen, but also tried to play dumb at first. I was persistent and she started crying and begged me not to leave her. This is what I uncovered. So she knows that that was a problem, but honestly, I think that not beating around the bush and hitting this directly because you have such a healthy relationship outside of this is not a terrible idea. Now let's see what he uncovered. Bailey first started looking at my ex out of curiosity, to keep tabs, I guess. Well, over time, it became more pathological. It's like she got addicted to it, but she also wanted to please me, quote unquote. Okay, maybe I talked about my ex a lot more than I thought, and Bailey wanted to emulate the good parts. She told me she really doesn't know who she is, and my ex's image was something she latched onto because, quote unquote, she had me first. Finding information about her became a game. Finding the clothing and objects became a game by searching things like blue water bottle, green stripe, until she could compare the product to a photo and find the exact one. The reason why I couldn't find the post wasn't because I had blocked my ex, but because my ex had made a new Facebook under a different name. Bailey found her profile by searching up a family member. She made fake social media and added enough mutual friends until she could see my ex's post and until her private Instagram accepted her. She weaseled her way into her exercise Facebook group where the videos were posted and searched her school on a yearbook website to find the yearbook pictures. Over time, she just collected the images and would get excited, quote unquote, to find something new, despite the fact that my ex is extremely private on social media. The folder had originally been called Hex the X. In case I discovered it, she was going to make the excuse of saving the pictures to put a hex on her. Don't hex people, guys. That's bad. I need to put that disclaimer out there. Don't do bad magic. It'll come back to you badly. When she made a burner Google account, she deleted the whole old folder and named the new one Double X. Then she got sloppy and comfortable, and that's right around the time I just happened to open the work tablet. How old is she again? She is 33, so way too old to be doing this. Because I was like, okay, if she's like 23, still crazy, but it makes a little bit more sense, you know? Because you're 23, but she's 33. Shouldn't be doing that. We took a break. It was a while. We made it to couples counseling, and Bailey and I also began seeing separate therapists. She still has not had an assessment with a psychiatrist, but it's on the list. She promised to stop and deleted the album in front of me. Slowly, certain clothing items began to disappear from the closet. I still do not entirely trust her, and that is for me to work on. I'm afraid she has another secret account somewhere, like a backup. The physical mimicking is actually stopping, though, including the hair change. We're still not okay. I want us to be okay, and it's okay if that takes time. If we end up not being okay, then that's something I have to deal with. What I do know is that my wife is incredibly insecure, probably mentally ill, and is misled. I don't really want to walk away from that. Although this probably isn't the most exciting update, I appreciate the private messages I couldn't get back to. Reddit cares and links to resources. I'm not sure how I feel about social media, YouTube, and TikTok picking up my story, though. That's wild. Oh, I'm sorry. I if you didn't want me to do this, I'm sorry. Until next time, if I ever get another update, I hope it's a good one. Relevant comments. The outcome does not look positive. Why stay in a one-sided relationship? At least put a plan together that runs concurrently so you're prepared should it not work out. Seek legal advice and don't do anything stupid. At least then you will be in a better place. Either way. OP said, a plan is something I'm still having trouble coming up with, and it's been a couple months. I think I'm afraid to make a plan. Does that make sense? So that is actually the end. It technically isn't concluded because we don't know how things are going to officially end. But that was 1 year ago, and there's been nothing else. And I feel like that's a pretty good conclusion. We'll never know. I hope that they worked it out because they do seem like a genuinely kind and good couple. Obviously, based on this one interaction that I read about them, I feel like if there's no other problems, yes, that's creepy and insane, but if they can get to the bottom of it, maybe it was just like a little mental health crisis that became a little crazy. But yeah, that is our first story. What do you guys think down in the comments? If you can comment, let's go on ahead to the next one that is a little similar but different. Like same, but different. Same energy, different vibe. This one is titled, I, 22 female, found a hidden folder on my girlfriend, 22 females, hard drive with heaps and heaps of photos of her stepsister, 26 female. I'm all over the place now and could really use someone's advice or help. Been with my girlfriend for 18 months now. It's been really smooth sailing so far. We have similar hobbies, but different enough jobs that I always love her coming over or me going over to hers and talking about our days. I could honestly sit and listen to this girl for hours. She's incredibly funny, insanely smart, so gorgeous, and I'm constantly gobsmacked that she wants to be with me. That's why this is so hard. It's come out of left field and I have no idea what to do. So we don't live together right now, but we are only about 15 minutes apart and the majority of nights we are with each other. The other night, girlfriend left her hard drive at mine. She keeps lots of TV shows, movies on it, and she brought it over to watch something with me. She obviously forgot it in the morning when she left. I had a day free and wanted to watch something. She's really into sci-fi stuff and has tried to get me to watch some shows, but it just isn't my thing. But I thought I'd surprise her and try to get into one of her favorites so we could watch it together. I was looking at a bunch of shows, Firefly, Doctor Who, Star Trek, all of those, to try to find one that looked manageable. I didn't want to commit to something with a million seasons like Doctor Who apparently has. I decided on Firefly. For those who don't know, it's just a season long, but in all the video files, there was a folder that was one just titled UGG, which obviously is such a weird folder name. That's like my go-to name when I don't know what to name a folder. If it's something I don't want to do, like something that's like annoying but kind of like admin work or something, and I'm the only one who's going to be using it, I call it UGG. I'm sorry. So maybe, but maybe that is weird. I don't know. I am I the a-hole? Anyway, I assumed it was just some sexy time or something, but when I went into there, it was just masses and masses of photos, videos, screenshots of text from my girlfriend's stepsister. WTF? I honestly thought I was dreaming, going through all this junk. I have no idea what's going on. It looks so dodgy, right? That she has obviously hidden this folder and moved all the photos of her stepsister into here instead of on an iPhone or something. At first, I had such dread, like she must be cheating on me with her stepsister, like we're living in some effing alternate universe. But the photos are all pretty innocent from what I've seen, just day-to-day stuff. There's some weirder ones like photos of stepsister napping on the couch or swimming in the pool, sunbathing, like they make me think she didn't know they were being taken. But at the same time, she has taken similar photos of me and our friends, but shown them to me or the friends later, just messing around on her phone. And there's photos of the sister just around the house in her undies and a t-shirt. Again, if I saw that on my girlfriend's phone, I wouldn't pay much attention, but now I don't know. Is that a weird photo to have of a sibling? Yes, I'll answer that for you. I think it is. But I don't know. Maybe me and my siblings are just weird. Maybe we're the odd ones out. Let's keep going. The texts aren't sexy or anything either. Mostly they are from the stepsister saying stuff like, I don't know what I'd do without you. No one makes me laugh like this. This girl in at work makes me think of you. I already love her, etc. Like if I saw them on my girlfriend's phone in the combo, I wouldn't think anything of it. It's the fact that she screenshotted them and saved them to this weird folder that freaks me out. The backstory is my girlfriend and stepsister have been living together since my girlfriend was like 9 or 10 and her sister was 13 or 14. I know my girlfriend worships her sister and look, it's for good reason. The sister is super charming, beautiful, and really successful in her field of work. Veterinarian, she's caring too. She is for sure the whole package, and I definitely get a bit giggly when she's around. She's just that sort of girl. I never thought my girlfriend's feelings for her went any further than being platonic, until now though. I don't think they are having an affair. The sister is engaged and really in love with the guy. She has said she identifies as straight. My girlfriend has always been pretty judgmental or negative of the future brother-in-law, but I chalk that up to just being protective. Now I don't know. Is she jealous? What do I do? I have no idea how to bring this up with my girlfriend. Again, I feel like the only evidence I have that something shifty is going on is that she took the time to move every photo and video regarding the sister into a folder that has clearly been hidden. There's nothing in the folder that is weird, apart from the sheer amount of stuff in there. It's over 7,000 files. That's crazy. I don't even think I have that many of my pets. Girlfriend is not a photographer aside from the casual social media stuff. I'm sorry this is all over the place. I need some help. Please tell me what your take is. Thank you. Relevant comments as well as theories. Just chiming in with something that hasn't been mentioned yet. Maybe your girlfriend wants to be her rather than to be with her. She could be envious of her and kind of obsessively studying her and trying to win her approval. Still strange and worth asking her about. Another comment. I have a whole folder of my sister's stuff, photos, files, scans of her important documents, lists of her passwords, other random stuff on my hard drive. It's a second backup for her. It's also labeled a derogatory name as a joke. I guess if someone saw that with no discussion or explanation, it could end up starting all sorts of conspiracy theories. Before you make a leap to a wild conclusion, talk to your girlfriend. There's likely a totally normal reason for this. That's true. I didn't think of that. They do live together. Well, right? They live together still? So maybe. Well, she said whenever she's around, I don't know, because she said they've lived together, but then like she's engaged. I don't know. Maybe I missed that. I could have. Well, there are some possibilities here. First, she may just have a crush on her. It happens. Your girlfriend may know full well she has no chance and may not even want a chance, but saving that stuff made her happy. Second, I have to ask if your girlfriend has ever had a friend that died young. I've been with my best friend for 25 years and I save all of our conversations and every photo. Everything. Why? Because two of our closest friends died before we turned 30 and we had nothing backed up. We struggled to find anything to hold on to. Now, we both save everything. This is definitely strange, but the reason why she's doing it should determine what, if anything, you should do about it. I'd mention you found out and be like, I wasn't trying to snoop, I was trying to watch sci-fi. All your sister's stuff is on your drive. The OP said, I get keeping mementos and I know I keep every blurry photo that's on my phone because yeah, I agree. You never know what memories are going to be really special. It's the fact that the folder was hidden, named Ugh, and just of the sister that's frightening me. I know we need to talk. I just worry that she will lie to me, minimize her feelings for the sister, and I'll have no way to know if she's being honest. Thanks for your advice. It's a different take. She hasn't lost anybody except a grandfather, and I have never had the sense they were close. But it's definitely a possible explanation. Here's another comment. 7,000 of anything is an obsession. That's what I was thinking. Like, 7,000 is a lot. There's some psychological component that you are missing, sexual or not. Almost all of us have had relationships that are hard to define. I knew of two twin brothers that slept in the same bed up to and including 22-year-olds. It was really odd. The reality of the situation is her mental health. If she was in love with this person, maybe she moved on to you and the stepsister was the last person she was emotionally close to, and now you are the new person she is obsessing over. I bet she has many photos of you sleeping that you don't know about. Well, we're jumping to conclusions a little bit. I guess it is a theory, though. Ugh is her accepting the fact her emotional relationship is fractured because one or both are straight and have grown up. The sis is married and your girl is with you. OP. I agree with it seeming like an obsession. I'm terrified that this means she's in love with her stepsister, knows it would never happen, and now I'm the consolation prize. I'm scared she will tell me it's innocent and I have no way of knowing if that's the truth or not. Okay, two more relevant comments, like with OP responses. This next one. When is the date on the most recent thing added? If it isn't recent, she might have had a crush on the sister for a while and forgot to delete it or something. Technically, it's not incest since it's a step sibling, but it is still kind of weird. 7,000 pictures is a lot. Wait, but because yeah, because half would be incest, but step is not. Okay, yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I think you should ask her about it and be honest and say how you found it. It's in front of me now. I arranged it by date added. Last was 2 weeks ago, was a text conversation. My girlfriend sent the sister a photo of her in the dress she bought for a ball we were going to, and the sister replied, damn girl, in all caps, with all those love heart emojis and the fire emojis. So yeah, it's definitely ongoing, whatever it is. The oldest are photos of them when they were still in high school. Last relevant comment, set. It seems strange, but can it be a surprise for her stepsister's birthday? She decided to save all the memories that she could to have a huge database and then select the best ones to prepare the surprise. I know this is just a theory, but it's impossible to know with this facts only. Can't you talk to her and explain that you found the photos, even though you're not actively trying to do so? I mean, explain your motives, or it will appear like you were snooping, and ask her the meaning of the folder. It's always best to talk, especially in these types of situations. Good luck, OP. I hope this is just a misunderstanding. Personally, as in me, Grace, I don't see this being the case just because 7,000 photos for a birthday seems like a lot. Anyway, OP's response is, I thought this could be an option too, but the title of Ugh made me worry that it wasn't as innocent as a gift. Okay, again, with the Ugh, I literally name anything, I don't know what to call it, that. Or like, Ugh, I need to find a bunch of pictures and it's late at night for this birthday present. Ugh, like anything to be Ugh, I wouldn't read into that too much. But let's continue. In addition to it being hidden, I don't know why she would have hidden the folder if it was a present. She doesn't live with the sister. Okay, so they don't live together. And it seems like a crazy precaution to take when sister doesn't even use the hard drive. I know I should talk to her and I plan on doing so. I'm trying to get myself square with what I want to say. Thank you for your advice. 1 week later, we get the update. I didn't realize this was one from 2016. That was vision board era. But is that worse? I don't know. Time for the update. Whatever, we're moving on. Hi guys, a few people hit me up for an update and I want to let you all know what ended up happening. Thanks for everyone's support and advice. I wasn't expecting so many people to comment, and I really appreciate everyone's feedback. I've added some fake names here because there's more people involved and I think it gets more confusing. From all the comments, I got the sense that I was hugely overreacting. I'm an anxious person who can jump to the worst case scenario a lot of the times. It's something I'm really trying to work on because I don't like that side of myself. That's really why I came here, to get another opinion before talking to my girlfriend, and you all slapped some sense into me, so thank you for that. So my girlfriend came over that night, and I decided to follow people's advice and just talk to her about it honestly and be completely upfront. I said, I wanted to surprise you by getting into Firefly, so I went onto your hard drive to get it. And Reddit, my heart just broke. She was excited and wanted to put it right on so we could watch it together. I knew then that what I thought had happened didn't. She obviously didn't make the connection with the folder being hidden in her Firefly folders and was just keen to watch the show with me. That little reaction just made me so relieved. It's hard to explain, but I knew then that there was no way she was hiding this big secret. She obviously didn't have any shame or embarrassment around the hidden folder because she didn't even remember that folder was in there. So I just said that I had accidentally found the folder of her stepsister, fake name Lizzie, the one called Ugg. I asked why she made it. Her face just fell and she was quiet for a bit, and then she told me the whole story. So I had noticed my girlfriend had been quiet and a bit sad recently, but she's been working a lot and I just assumed she was super tired. But no, like a few of you guessed, she had had a big fight with Lizzie. A few weeks ago, a high school friend, we'll call her Gina, of my girlfriend got in contact with her on Facebook. Gina is fairly religious and goes to church a lot. Gina said she didn't want to make waves in girlfriend's family, but wanted her to know the guy Lizzie is marrying, who we will call John, is well known in the Christian community in our area for being involved in those gay conversion workshops and seminars. Gina wanted to make sure my girlfriend was okay and seemed to think maybe she had accepted John's work out of some internalized homo negativity. My girlfriend and I did not know that John did stuff like that. I only knew that he was a therapist and that he went to church, and my girlfriend said he had only ever been introduced like that to her. She said she was pretty sure her parents didn't know either, as they had always been loving and accepting of her and would be outraged over John's line of work. She was worried that John had been lying to Lizzie as well and contacted Lizzie to tell her what she had heard from Gina. Obviously, it didn't go well. Lizzie was very defensive and basically just kept telling my girlfriend that John's beliefs were his beliefs and Lizzie had no right to make any assumptions over it. It was clear Lizzie knew what John was doing and was completely fine with it and was hiding it through omission from her family. My girlfriend cried and cried through telling me this. This is so sad. I'm so sorry. I know this was 2016, but I'm so sorry. As I said in my last post, Lizzie was such a hero to my girlfriend, and she loves her so much. So this acceptance is such a betrayal. I think that's why she didn't tell me when it first happened. When she hid those files, she just didn't want to have to deal with it because Lizzie hurt her so much by not caring that John does for therapy. These workshops focus on telling gay kids and adults of how wrong and perverted they are and basically force them back into the closet. They focus on scaring parents into cutting support off from their gay children and use all these horrible, horrible tactics to basically force these people to hide their sexuality. It's just absolutely awful. So she said she couldn't stand having all these reminders of Lizzie scattered through her computer, so she ended up just putting them all into one folder and hiding it. I guess ugh meant ugh, I don't want to deal with this right now. We're sort of at a loss to do now. I'm obviously just trying to give my girlfriend as much support as I can because everything is her decision now. Lizzie doesn't seem willing to see that what her fiance has dedicated his life to is so painful for her sister. My girlfriend doesn't know whether to tell her parents. On one hand, it is going to be horrible, painful, awkward as balls to have family dinners with this future brother-in-law who thinks that her and me are defective, quote unquote. And my girlfriend is pretty sure both of her parents, including her stepdad, would do what they can to protect her from John. On the other hand, she loves Lizzie so much and doesn't want to force her away from her family. It's not Lizzie's profession, and John has never been outright nasty to my girlfriend. Yeah, the fact that you didn't know until someone said it, I guess, is good because that means that he's not being like outwardly cruel. But there is no good thing about having that as a career. And the fact that she's choosing to not only date him, but to marry him and sees a future with him. Like, how is this going to affect your kids when they talk about their aunts and things like that? Like, these are long-term questions that it is gonna come up, and it can't just be a lying by omission thing. It can't just be a agree to disagree thing. I don't know how maybe they'll talk about it in this since it was so long ago, but that's insane. I'm obviously relieved my girlfriend doesn't have feelings for Lizzie, but this is still heartbreaking in a different way. It's horrible to see my girlfriend so upset, and I'm just trying to give her as much love and care as humanly possible. I'm excited for tonight because I borrowed a projector from my friend, and I'm going to set it up so we can watch Firefly on the wall of my living room. I'm going to make us a big blanket fort and order pizza so we can snuggle and watch TV all night. Thank you all again. It means the world to me that you all took time out of your lives to offer support to me. And there is an edit. Thank you to everyone for such an outpouring of support. It means so much to me. My girlfriend and I had a big talk last night, and she's going to tell her parents. It's likely they will find out at some point anyway, and it isn't fair that my girlfriend should feel uncomfortable with her family. And to the people who are saying John must be gay, please think that what you're saying and how offensive it is. Yes, there have been instances where intensely homophobic people are hiding same-sex attraction, but they are in the minority. If I came to you saying my girlfriend was black and her sister was marrying a member of a certain group, no one would be saying, oh, he just wants to be black. Some people are just hateful. So that is no, there's no other update after that. It does say it is concluded. Um, I hope that they were able to work that out. I'm glad that you guys have each other, and I'm glad you have the support of your family and everybody was siding with you rather than your sister. Or you thought they would. So I hope that the conversation went well. I know this is a while now. I hope you guys are living your best lives and you're happy. I hope that you guys are still together. I know this was almost a decade ago and everybody's living their best lives and your sister is found a way out of it, or John saw the light and is no longer participating in this type of stuff, but since he does it for work, I don't think so. Um, but hopefully, I know there's been a lot of changes, and especially with the state of the US right now, we go back and forth. It's like we have progress and then we fall backwards. I hope you guys are safe and everybody is just living their best life. OP discovers that her husband's dirty secret is far dirtier than she ever expected. Obviously using a throwaway account because, yeah. So over the past few months, I've noticed my husband sneaking out of the house at night, sometimes for hours at a time. I'm one of those people that falls asleep soon as their head hits the pillow, so he obviously thinks I'm asleep, but one night I heard the baby crying and noticed he wasn't there. At first I thought he was sneaking out to see another woman, but it turns out it was worse than that. In my opinion, anyway. We had our first child in February this year, and he's been a really hands-on father. Always is there to take care of the baby despite having a full-time job when I need a break and all of that. I didn't know how else to really say what he's doing without sounding completely insane because it kind of is, but it turns out when my husband goes out at night, all he does is go into the yard where the trash cans are, rummages around and fishes out a dirty diaper for my child, opens it, and just stands there smelling it. That is so, I'm sorry, that is foul. That is gross. I'm so sorry. I don't want to shame, but oh my God. It seems to only be the ones that our son has gone number two in because I've seen him toss back ones that presumably only have peed in it and look for a dirtier one. And he just stands there taking this deep, contented breath in all of our child's excrement for ages. The sad thing is, he looks so happy when he's doing it too. I've watched him from the window for weeks now, just standing out there, sniffing with this huge grin on his face, and then rummaging around for another. I'm gonna throw up. Oh my God. The real icing on the cake was the other night when he came back to bed, once again thinking I was asleep. He must have got a bit too close to the diaper when he was sniffing our son's business because when he got into bed with me, I could smell something and open my eyes when I finally heard him snoring, and it turns out he had a bit of it on his nose. I felt so disgusted. So I'm at a loss as what I should do now. I love my husband, but this freaks the hell out of me. Has this happened to anyone else before? Is it a fetish or something? I'm too concerned to confront him, but I know this needs to be done, and any advice would be great because, I mean, shit. Yeah, that's one you wouldn't put on a bingo card. Edit 1, I'm still awake right now, feeding the baby and waiting to see if he'll make a move later on. Thinking about confronting him, but not sure if I will or not yet. Will update. You should confront him. That's me jumping in. Edit 2. Wow, I can't believe how many people have replied to this post. First of all, thank you for the people who wrote with such thoughtful advice. I can't reply to everyone, but I've read every comment here, so thank you. I still haven't confronted my husband about what he's doing, and the other night after my update, after waiting an hour or two, sure enough, he snuck out again for his nightly diaper sniff. I was planning on confronting him, but he ended up coming inside after only smelling one or two. By the time he came back into bed, I was too nervous and flustered to say anything, so I just pretended to be asleep. I've decided that either tonight or whenever he goes out next, he doesn't every night, but most nights, to take a photo of him in the act and be waiting for him with the evidence when he returns inside. I've never been good with words, and I'm just too nervous to sit down with him and bring it up. And someone suggested I photograph video him so he has no choice to explain, since I obviously have evidence, and leave him no room to pass it off as me maybe seeing him doing something else. What did he do about it on his nose? Like, I feel like we breezed over that too quickly. Did you wipe it off? Is he like a heavy sleeper, so it got on the sheets? Does he not move all night, and so he woke up and looked in the mirror and it was still there? We passed over that a little too quickly. I need more of that. Anyway, continuing. Hopefully I can get a clear enough picture that it'll be enough for him to realize that there's no way out but to confront the issue. I'm nervous about how he will react, but I know he loves me and our family, and hopefully there's some way we can work through whatever this is together as a family. Thanks again for all the supportive comments and advice. There have been overwhelming support, a few weird comments, but I really appreciate people reserving judgment, my family and I. I'm so sorry. I tried to reserve judgment, but I can't. I did my best. Like, I try to be a kind-hearted, non-judgmental person. Lord, forgive me. Continuing. I will update once I've confronted him, and hopefully I'll be able to wrap this up nicely and it'll be happy endings all around. Time for the update. First of all, I'm really sorry that it's taken so long to update. I've just logged on now for the first time in weeks because things have been a little insane for me. I've been putting off coming on here and updating because I'm ashamed and upset things didn't go the way I'd hoped after confronting my husband, and it's all been just way too much for me to handle confronting myself, let alone confessing to all of you. But I understand I posted my confession on here for advice, was met with overwhelming response, support, and understanding, and it's only fair that I give you guys at least one update on the situation as it stands today. I hope you all understand that I don't want to go into much detail with this. Firstly, to protect our identities, because regardless of what happens, I never did this to name and shame anyone. And secondly, because it's all too painful right now for me to sit down and write out every inch of hurt that has happened to me and my family over the past few weeks. I just don't have that emotional strength right now. Maybe in time I will, but right now I just don't. So forgive me in advance if this is brief or if I skim over details or judge specifics. Basically, a few nights after I posted my last edit on the previous post, I gathered the courage to confront my husband. In hindsight, it might not have been the best way to do it, but at the time, it seemed logical, and the least confronting way I could was still providing proof for me and my husband to see. So that night, I took some pictures with my iPhone and a short video out our bedroom window of my husband outside. It was blurry and hard to see, but enough for him to understand I knew what was going on. I waited for him on our bed with the quote-unquote evidence for a good 45 minutes before he came back upstairs. I expected him to be shocked and ask me what was doing up, but he instead surprised me. He said something along the lines of, "Oh, did the baby wake you up? I was just upstairs eating some leftovers." Kisses me on the cheek, "Good night then," and tucks himself in and rolls over to sleep. Pause. I don't understand how he thought that you just would not notice him, especially with you having a baby. Like, you're going to be waking up throughout the night. If the baby needs anything to monitor, like, you could hear it. You're going to get up, and he's not exactly hiding. He's right outside the window, and you're going to look for him if he's not there. So, especially if he does it almost every night, I don't see how he thought that this was going to be a secret, you know? Maybe he just didn't think it through. I was dumbfounded at how quick he was to lie straight to my face. I guess when he came upstairs, I expected him to not be able to hold back from what he had been doing, or at least be worried about why I was awake, or the fact that I was awake. It made me so mad to see how he was so prepared to lie to my face and pretend everything was fine when I had been concerned and upset for weeks, that I just exploded. I marched around the bed and shoved the evidence in his face, yelling at him and asking what the F he had been doing for all this time and why. I demanded answers. The next few hours went by in a blur of yelling and arguing. His argument basically was that I couldn't, and would never understand why he did it. So why should he even bother telling me? Because you're his wife. My issue was the fact that I was really trying hard to be understanding of his nightly trash can visits, but instead I just got lied to by the one person in the world who was supposed to be honest to me. A lot more yelling, and I'm bawling at this stage, and ask between sobs if it's some sort of sexual arousal thing for him, and he surprises me once more by going completely silent and just looks down at his feet. I explode once more, asking him how on earth he can find our child's excrement sexual in any way, to which he got angrier than I've ever seen him in life, yelled at me, "See, this is exactly why I can't ever tell you," and he walked out our front door and drove off. It's definitely, like, he's definitely ashamed that he got caught. He's been staying at his brother's house since and hasn't been to see our son. Frankly, if he's getting off sexually by our son in any way, I don't want him here. I thought I'd give us a few days before calling him, but he called the next day and said we needed to talk about getting a divorce. I feel like he's genuinely just embarrassed, and like emotions and tensions are high because of that, but it has been a little while, so I don't know. We tried to both have a calm conversation. I said to him, please let's try and sort something out, counseling, anything. And all he said in reply was, can I see my son though? And I told him that honestly I didn't think it was a good idea at this time considering the circumstances. He said okay and told him he'd be getting a lawyer and I probably should too. So right now we're doing it as civilly as we can through the legal system, but I doubt that he has anything against me considering I have evidence of sorts. My mother has come to stay with me in the family home to help with the baby, and I haven't had the courage to tell her when our divorce is over. I'm just too ashamed. All I've said is it's bad, and I tried to give him the option for counseling, which he rejected, and that's that. I don't know what will happen from here, but I thought at least you guys should know the essence of it. Thanks again for the support and understanding. I hope you don't judge me for the way I approached it. I know I could have done better, but what's done is done, and I need to just put my heartbreak aside and try moving forward for the sake of my son because he is and always will be the priority in my life. I'm so sorry. And that was 8 years ago. We never got an update. I feel like this is one of those situations where, when someone does something like a secret, like a guilty pleasure that's so embarrassing that people will say, oh, if someone ever found out about this, you should just change your name and move. I feel like this is a situation that he kind of had that mindset and he's like, I just need to change my name and move. Well, but it's not so haha funny when you're affecting a life, like not just your wife's life, your baby's life, your life, like you just dropped them and she clearly was willing to work on it. So I'm so sorry. Wow, that's not a good time. Let's do one more. My 27 female fiance, 27 male, secretly went to Paris to see a female friend. Fake names, throwaway because my fiance is a big Reddit user. My 27 female fiance, Eric, 27 male, has a friend named Jane, 20s female, who lives in Paris, France. She had moved by the time we were introducing each other to our friends, so we've only ever met over video chat. Me and Eric had been together for a year and a half, and before we got together, he and Jane were involved. He told me it ended badly, but they did get over it. I don't know exactly what happened. I've never asked. She is really important to him. They do talk once or twice a month over text or video chat, and I know that they have a lot in common. I don't know Jane's situation, but Eric's parents were not very kind to him, and I've pieced together that Jane's were as well. I've never gotten the impression that either one wants to go back to how it was, and he's never given me a reason to be insecure. Until now. He asked me to marry him 3 weeks ago, and I said yes. I was really excited to marry him. But then suddenly, a few days ago, he announced that he needed to go visit family, which was weird because he cut his family off several years ago. He has expressed to me that he has no interest in seeing them again. He said that it was an important family emergency and then just left. He kept me updated and we talked a few times on the phone. He told me that his mom was having health issues. I had no reason to be suspicious. Edit, I'm bringing that over, and it sounds weird, but he's always been very touchy when it comes to talking about his family, and I didn't want to push it. But then a couple hours ago, I got a message from Jane asking if Eric was okay. I said that he was visiting family, so he was probably just a bit stressed out, which is why he wasn't responding to her messages. She then informed me that he is in Paris with her and snuck a photo of him in her apartment. I haven't replied to her yet. I'm freaking out. I have no idea what to do. He just got on a plane to fly for 12 hours to see her without telling me, presumably last minute. Why is he there? Do I talk to him? Has anyone else been in this kind of situation before? That's crazy because, like, if they were cheating, why would she reach out? Maybe he had been telling her, like, I'm gonna break it off, and she hit her limit. But to ask if she was okay, and then be like, no, he's not there. Like, that's giving girls girl. So, but Jane knows she's there. So I don't. We're gonna keep reading. A relevant comment. I mean, good on her, Jane, for telling you. Is she aware you guys are engaged? OP. Yes, she knows. She congratulated us both, and I believe he told her that he was going to propose before he did. Okay, so yeah, she definitely knows. Update. Thank you for all the comments and advice. I read every single one, and I appreciate all of the advice. I'm sorry for the late update, but I'm extremely tired and haven't really sat down in a week and a half. To just get to the point, I left him. A lot of people were concerned that he'd find the post, but I did change a lot of details. The main issue remains the same. Jane lives in a foreign country at least 12 hours away, and he decided to go to her without telling me. Not only did he not tell you, he lied about where he was going, which is almost worse. I also did see some comments discussing the age gap between Eric and Jane. Jane is in her late 20s. I said 20s because I wasn't sure at the time how old she was. After I posted and the comments were rolling in, I had to shut my phone off. There were so many people saying that Eric wanted to be with Jane, that he wasn't over her, and I started having a panic attack. I'm not an insecure person usually, and Eric had given me absolutely no reason to be. But this whole thing, I felt very stupid and like I'd been blind. He was always very open about his friendship with Jane and how much she meant to him, but there was absolutely nothing that made me think he still had feelings for her. Honestly, even if he told me he wanted to visit her without me, I'd probably have said that was fine as long as I got to go on my own vacation. Anyway, I got Jane on the phone the next day. Her story is that he just showed up at her door, claiming that he missed her and that he just needed to get away. She provided proof that she had no idea he was coming, and I have no reason to not believe her when she tells me nothing happened. I think she was angrier than I was. At the time, she figured out something really bad must have happened, either with me or with his family. She knew from past experiences it was better to just let him talk when he was ready rather than pushing it. She gave it 2 days, during which she was behaving very impulsively, kept spacing out, and brought up their past multiple times. They hadn't seriously spoken about it since it ended years ago. He's usually the calmer, more level headed one of the two of them, so this behavior was extremely out of character. Finally, she decided to text me to see if I knew anything. After I told her that he was with his family, she put it together pretty quick that I had no idea where he was, and she confronted him about it. They got into a massive fight that lasted for hours, and she eventually told him to leave. She didn't really tell me what the fight was about, just that she yelled at him for not telling me, but after talking to him, I've got a hunch. Me and Jane talked for a long time. Both of us were crying by the end of it. I think this whole thing opened up some wounds. She told me their history, a lot of which really surprised me, like how they weren't even really boyfriend and girlfriend, and he's the one who ended it. He's always given me the impression that it was bad, but ultimately a mutual breakup. It was just a really toxic situation for both of them, and it took them a long time to get back to being actual friends after. Which brings me to my conversation with Eric. He showed up a few days after I talked with Jane. I had packed up and left to a friend's at that point. He came over to talk. My friend was in the place the whole time. We talked for a while. I asked him 100 questions and he answered maybe 5 of them. He said he was sorry that he can't provide an actual explanation for what he did because he doesn't understand why. I said to him that wasn't good enough and I needed him to tell me what happened. He said he couldn't because I wouldn't understand. I suggested couples therapy for us. He's been doing it individually since before I met him, but he said he didn't want to. He just wants to forget that it happened. That's definitely not fair and not going to happen. Like, you can't just sweep things under the rug. I don't understand the argument of you wouldn't understand when it comes to your partner who you want to be your life partner because they may not understand, but you should still be able to talk to them and empathize. Like, they would be able to empathize with you or sympathize. So the fact that, like, he's saying that and he's saying you won't understand that means that he probably did something that is not fair or not right or is going to be harmful to, like, her feelings or her, and he just doesn't want to say it because he knows there's going to be consequences. The positive explanation I have is that he had some kind of freak out after he got engaged, or maybe something did happen with his parents and he couldn't talk to me about it, which is fine. I don't necessarily think that if someone is struggling, the first person they should always go to talk about it is their partner. I do agree with that. There are conversations that I'm like, I just need my mom or I just need my best friend. So I can understand that. I'm totally fine with him going to Jane if he was freaking out over the prospect of us getting married or if he did hear something about his mom. Obviously, don't fly to another country and lie about it, but that goes without saying. Jane could probably understand that better than I could and know what to say, but he can't even talk to me about it now, nor is he making an effort. So, how does that bode? He just wants to pretend that everything is fine and normal, and I just can't do that. On top of all of that, up until now, he's never been secretive about how he feels or what he's thinking about or his history. He hates talking about it and is touchy about people asking a lot of questions about it, but he's always told me stuff if I ask. I think if he was panicking over getting married or if something actually happened with his mom, he'd tell me. I couldn't help myself and asked if it was because he just didn't want to talk about the fact that he wants to be with Jane and regrets how he treated her. He denied it, but I think I hit a nerve. He claimed that he doesn't have any leftover feelings for her other than the fact that she's a big what if. She's important to him, but she's the past and I'm the future. This might just be my fear talking, but what if this whole time he's been using me to try and make Jane jealous because he's realized that he lost her and he went to see her to see if she still wanted him just in case? I think that's what they thought about. I think he went there to see her because he's realized he still wants her. And she's been off living her life without him, no problem. It's bad enough if that is the case, but if I take him back, what if she changes her mind? I don't have a reason to believe she'll change her mind. She doesn't talk about him the way that I talk about someone I'm romantically interested in, and now that I know their story, I wouldn't want him back either, but who knows? After our conversation, it's obvious that he's not 100% certain that he wants to build a life with me, and he's not willing to do what it takes to fix this. I'm not worth the work. He won't even try, and that's basically the big issue for me. I can't build a life with someone who won't put the effort in. So I don't want to be with him. I told him to leave, and he left without a fight. I blocked him on everything. I've talked to Jane a few times since, and they have spoken. She told me that he's probably going to take some stuff off work and figure stuff out. I hope he can get some help. Plus, I know it sounds utterly bizarre, but I think I've actually gained a friend in her. She's checked in on me multiple times and even helped put me in touch with a new place to live that I just moved to. I'm really tired. It's been a really horrible and busy time. Thanks for the support and the advice. I'm glad I found out now before we had started seriously planning or worse, after we got married or had children. If I found out anything more, I'll update on my profile. If anyone has any advice on how to deal with the embarrassment or good ice cream flavors to get through the pain, let me know. Wow. Let's read these relevant comments. It definitely sounds like he was trying his luck with Jane, maybe thought he could get something to happen and then come back and either have it go out of the way or leave you for her. Don't wait around for him, keep him blocked. OP said, I think it's pretty funny that he seems to have thought that the woman who moved away to a foreign country has been sitting around for the past few years, waiting for him to want her. Another relevant comment. I'm so sorry for what he put both you and Jane through, and if he's in counseling like he stated, it's not working because this shows he has some deep unresolved issues that he thinks can be fixed with the right partner. Jane's a good person. I wish both of you well. No, seriously, she's my hero, and I genuinely hope he gets the help he needs. I don't want him to be miserable forever. He was a good partner until all of this. My experience with him doesn't match up all that much with Jane's experience with him. I do agree, like, Jane was a girl's girl. Like, she did all that she needed to do. She went as far as to kick him out, and even though he was such a good friend to her for as long as they were friends, she sided with you, which is good. Like, we love Jane. Last relevant comment. I do think he's got unresolved issues, but it also sounds more like he's taking some form of drug if he's no history of manic breakdowns. Not acting himself and jumping from topic to topic with Jane sounds like a mania episode or drug involvement. OP. He doesn't have a history of manic breakdowns that I know of, but he does have significant mental health issues, and these come with their moments. But up until now, it's always been the I'm gonna stuff down my feelings because then they won't exist kind, more than the I'm gonna do something crazy kind. But from what I've seen, he's always managed it pretty well. It could have been a manic episode. I definitely think he panicked over something. I don't know about drugs. I really hope it's not. And that is the very last, all she wrote. There's no other updates or anything, which is fine because she's going to go live her best life with someone who is 100% certain of her and won't have to question if he wanted someone else and she was a second choice. So that is all we have today. Thank you so much for sitting and listening or watching or hanging out. I really appreciate it. I love you so, so much. I upload every single Sunday. I will catch you guys in the next episode, and I think that's pretty much it. All right, bye guys. Catch you later. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, like, comment, all the fun things. Bye!
You was the first